Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Eric. Today I'm going to talk about the 1986 film Invaders from Mars, which was a remake of a 1950s classic. This film was directed by Tobe Hooper, who had done Life Force. I talked about a few videos ago. Also did Poltergeist and most famously the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But this film was a change of pace for Hooper. Doing more of a kind of a more kid-friendly movie that's evocative of the 1950s. So, and it's very much in line with in the mid 1980s filmmakers remaking stories that they loved as children. So, like Joe Dante sort of did that with Explorers. Spielberg was doing that at the time with like E.T. and movies like that. So it's there is a real retro quality to this remake. Now the original from 1950s is more of like drenched in Cold War paranoia, but what makes that film interesting is that it's told from the perspective of a child. And just a little bit about the story. So we have our protagonist, David, who has a good relationship with his parents, a typical Spielberg kid from the mid 80s with the room, with pop culture, memorabilia everywhere. And Timothy Bottoms and Lorraine Newman are his parents. And he sees a spaceship crash from his window, and it kind of freaks him out. The next morning, though, he realizes his parents are not acting like themselves. They're kind of speaking in monotones, and they have no sense of humor. Um, I like how the film handles food. Like their eating habits are very strange, and they have scars behind their neck, marks behind their neck. So then he goes to school, and he finds the same with his teachers. Louise Fletcher's his teacher, and he sees her like eating frogs, and, which is kind of a funny scene in the film. But he soon realizes that there is a Martian invasion going on, and that they are taking over human beings. Okay, and the army gets involved, and the movie becomes kind of this big spectacle where we meet the Martians, and the special effects work was done by John Dykstra. Did the visual effects. Winston did the creature effects with the Martians, which was okay. I think my main drawback to this film is that it's almost beat for beat like the 1950s film. It doesn't really. There's a few tweaks here and there, but it's almost too reverential. It doesn't really change much from the story. It follows the similar beats, and it doesn't. The special effects are okay. Even the creatures are. The Martians are more goofy than threatening. So there's that, and some of the sets, like it does have kind of a low budget quality to the look of the film. I know that this production they were working fast, and there were a lot of issues they were dealing with during production. So there's a lot of I think limitations to this remake of the 1950s. I think on the plus side though, it does have a real 1980s feel to it with the color scheme and the style of the film. It has a really good cast I liked. I mentioned Lorraine Newman, Timothy Bottoms, James Karen is in here. Karen Black is really good. She did a lot of great genre work. Trilogy of Terror, her most famous film from the 70s. So it has a great cast, and it's a lot of fun on that regard. The kid Hunter Carson is really good. I think the kid did a good job in the film. I just wish there had been maybe a little more imagination, maybe just a little bit more. Maybe the film needed to be more menacing was the issue. So I don't know. But like a lot of sci-fi movies of this era, it found new life on cable and on VHS, where a lot of people rediscovered it, and it's kind of become a bit of a cult film through the years. So a lot of people, I'm sure, remember this movie fondly from the mid 1980s. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Invaders from Mars. Thanks for watching, and I will talk to you later. Bye.